Hello and welcome to this astrology update for the week of March 3rd to the 10th. We have a very beautiful week ahead of us, a very powerful week ahead of us, and we also have a new moon that we are approaching that is going to be happening on March the 10th. So I wanted to give a breakdown of what this week is really all about, how to use the energies of this week, and what's actually really happening in our skies, because this week is a week of preparation. This is also a week of no BS, time to move forward kind of energy. So I wanted to just give people the opportunity to really hone in on the power of this week and take the right action steps to move you forward. And before I even actually get into this week, I just want to mention how incredibly powerful this spring season is. So this spring season brings an undeniable change that is written all over it. It is bringing very, very powerful transformation in people's lives. So if you are someone that has been doing the work and has been consistently working on yourself, working on your shadow aspects, working on your wounds and healing those wounds, then this spring season is going to be an absolutely extraordinary season of breakthroughs. So the astrology for March, April, and May is like galactic in scale. Okay, this isn't just planetary in scale. This is galactic in scale, which means that it truly is affecting our entire galaxy. It is huge. It is offering this massive potential for personal and collective breakthroughs on a very large scale. So this isn't just like little tiny breakthroughs, but large breakthroughs. And like I said before, this week is definitely this preparation week. I feel like this week is asking us to prepare ourselves, to ready ourselves for what is to come throughout this month, because not only is the energy going to be very fast moving, it is also going to be very intense and very powerful. So in order to be able to keep up with the energy, it's very important to prepare ourselves energetically, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, right? And because we've been moving through this sort of quiet purging phase throughout the winter season, it is now definitely this amping up of energy or resurgence of energy within us that you might be feeling. You actually also may be even feeling the opposite. If you are feeling tired at this time as we are approaching spring, then it is definitely a very good indication that your body, your energy systems, maybe even your emotions are quite depleted at this time, and you are needing some amplification. You need to get yourself energized back up. And the way that you can do that is definitely through detoxifying. Physical detoxifying will be very, very powerful, very helpful. Through fasting, water fasting specifically is a really, really great way to reset your body energetically. If you're feeling tired, then it's time to empty, detoxify yourself, unburden yourself, unload yourself. And this could be, like I said, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, or all of the above. And then once you have completed that emptying, then move into a refilling phase. Now, the breakthroughs that we are going to be experiencing are really going to be felt by those the most that have been doing the work. I talk about doing the work on this channel all the time, which is shadow work, which is looking at your shadow aspects, looking at your triggers, looking at your unhealed wounds that need healing, that need releasing. So breakthroughs for those individuals are going to be not only possible, but are basically right here on your doorstep. Okay? There are also going to be two eclipses, Aries-Libra axis eclipses. One is going to be on March the 24th, and then the second one is going to be on April the 8th. Powerful, powerful eclipses. My God. And this too is what we are sort of gearing up for. This is what we are now in preparation for. And that's why I'm saying take advantage of this time and use this time wisely to really empty and then refill yourself with the appropriate things. Empty out the trash. It's like take out the trash and refill yourself with all of those sparkly, beautiful things that you need to refill yourself with at this time, so that come eclipse time, you are just so ready to go. You are so amped up. You are so energized that it has no choice but to bring in absolute wonderful breakthroughs for you. So it's time to also gather up your strength, your courage, your wisdom, and your faith. Do you lack faith in things working out for you? Because that is something that that's a shadow aspect that you're going to need to look at and examine very carefully at this time. This isn't like we're out of the time of questioning ourselves, of doubting ourselves, of second guessing ourselves. That time is now over. It is complete. And the new chapter that is here for us in March is all about recognizing how far you have come. It's all about recognizing how powerful you are and how much more wisdom and knowledge you have to move forward. So this isn't the time anymore to be looking backwards, to be looking at your past, and to be living from your past. And I mean, you can do that, but I promise you, you are going to go nowhere, because the energy is moving forward at such a rapid rate that it's not waiting for it. Like, it will leave you behind. It will leave those people behind that are just still looking backwards, that are still like, oh, but what if, and blah, blah, blah. Like, there isn't any more time for that. The universe is continuously moving forward. It is continuously changing, and it is forcing us in a way. It is really pushing us in a way to move along with that change, to allow ourselves to do the work to change. Because if you don't, then you just miss opportunity after opportunity. And, the years fly by very, very quickly. And something that I've really come to understand is that life is short. It is a lot shorter than we think it is. And there isn't as much time as we think we have. And I'm not trying to put lack mentality in anyone's subconscious here about time. We do have time, and yes, it's good to think that you have endless amounts of time, but the reality is that we are finite beings, okay? You don't live forever. Opportunities don't last forever. Energies don't last forever. Everything is continuously changing. So the question is, are you changing? Are you upgrading? Are you allowing yourself to become, not just allowing yourself, but are you pushing yourself to become a better version of yourself? Are you pushing yourself to become this higher octave of yourself that you can be, instead of always living out of this lower octave, the injured, the wounded healer, right? Chiron has been lighting up the sky lately, big time with energy, and reminding us to move out of that wounded healer energy and to, it's time for that to settle down now, to die, to fall away, and for this reemergence of the new 5D version of yourself to come out to play, to experience life on a whole different level. So this week's energy, like I said, is this preparation kind of energy that I'm picking up on. It's this like, okay, it's go time. Like, let's go, people. Stop fucking around, stop wasting time, and go. Stop procrastinating, and really take your control, take your power back over your life, and make those changes that are necessary, that you need to make, that you've been putting off because it's uncomfortable. Well, sitting in uncomfortableness is uncomfortable, isn't it? Because not changing is uncomfortable. Not upgrading, not becoming a better version of yourself is uncomfortable. So it's like, just choose which uncomfortable you want to live in, because you can choose temporary discomfort and make milestone like leaps and bounds ahead, or you can stay in the relatively comfortable uncomfortable, where nothing changes, where everything is static and everything stays the same. So these are the choice points that we now have here at the cusp of spring, here weeks before the solstice, before the rebirth of light, reemergence of light. What shadow aspects do you have left within you that you need to work through? What fears do you still have within you that you need to work through, that you need to let go? Who and what in your life is holding you back that you need to let go? Who do you need to distance yourself from at this time that is toxic, that is not filling your cup, that always brings drama, that always brings some type of negativity? Cut those people out. You must become very black and white when it comes to that, because it is the only way that you're going to move forward. It's like cut off the dead weight. Release and let go. And don't worry about how those people are going to respond. It so doesn't matter at all. Because what matters the most is how much you love yourself, how much you are willing to do whatever it takes for you to move your life forward, for you to experience so much more joy, love, abundance, prosperity, all of which are your birthright. So this is a bit of a call out. This energy this week is calling us out. The universe is calling us out and saying, stop wasting time. Stop giving your time and your energy to things, people, places that absolutely do not serve you, that do not support you in any kind of way. As a matter of fact, that want to just dig their claws in and hold you back and pull you back down. Always remember, misery loves company. Do not allow miserable people into your circle because they will pull you down. And if you have guilt about that, then you need to examine some shadow aspects within you. So this week, the energy is shaking up and shaking out any complacency, comfort zones, and entitlement. So those people that feel entitled to have access to you because maybe they're family, this is your week to just cut it off. If you feel entitled, then guess what? You just lost access. Because ascension is an individual journey, and you cannot take people with you. The only person that you are responsible for, the only soul that you are responsible for when it comes to the ascension journey is your own. That is it. And the ones that do not want to rise, the ones that want to stay in misery, that want to stay in complaining, that want to stay in negativity, have to be chopped off, have to fall away. You have to allow them to fall away. Block, delete. It's really that simple. You want to rise? This is what is required now. This is what this energy is telling us, and it's asking us, and it's pushing us to do. If you want to rise, be willing to let go. Get out of that comfort zone. Get out of people pleasing. Get out of always making sure other people are okay or that they are comfortable while you suffer, while you are uncomfortable. This isn't the time for that anymore. And you know what? Every single person makes their own bed. Every single person gets to choose and gets to decide whether they want to ascend or don't want to ascend. And you're going to see with immense clarity who in your life is willing to ascend and is doing the work and who is not doing the work. The veil has fallen. Our rose-colored glasses have fallen. And all that is left now to see is truth. And you will see it, and it will be undeniable. And it will be freeing, and it will be liberating, and it will be like sitting on a rocket and shooting yourself to the moon. That's what it's going to feel like. When you finally make that decision to leave that job that you hate, that brings you misery, to leave perspectives and thought patterns that keep you in poverty consciousness. You have a chance this week to detoxify this type of stuff. And this is why a physical detoxification really helps with this. It really supports it. Is it uncomfortable? Yes, it is. Is it worth it? 100%. So give yourself some time this week before that new moon hits on the 10th, okay, on Sunday. Give yourself time this week to purge. Purge out foods that don't serve you. Purge out people that don't serve you. Purge out behaviors that don't serve you. Purge out mentalities that don't serve you. If you need to meditate every single day just to get your mind right, then do it. Yes, change is uncomfortable, but necessary. If you really want your life to thrive, if you really want to become this immensely successful version of yourself, you have an opportunity for that. And like I said, these energies come and go. They don't stay around. So this energy is also lighting a fire under our asses to get going on those internal nudges. What has your intuition been telling you? What has your intuition been screaming at you to do? And you haven't done it. What is that thing? Can you just go for it and can you do it? Can you take action? Even if it's one tiny step towards it, but can you take action towards it? What creative ideas have you had that you've been sitting on for months, maybe even years? What kind of change has your intuition been nudging you to make? Perhaps dietary change, perhaps about your physical activity levels. Has there been this internal nudge within you to stop looking back at the past and your past wounding and your past failures? Can you stop looking back at your past failures and consider them stepping stones? Insightful information that has helped you understand what doesn't work. That is what a failure is. Nothing more, nothing less. It is a simple evidence of what doesn't work. So it's time to move forward with confidence, with this assurance, with this knowing that you are capable, that you have been preparing for this for your whole life. It's time to release your past entirely and stop repeating your old story. Because as long as you're repeating your old story, you are never going to move forward. You are always going to be stuck in that old energy. This is immensely powerful. The mind is so incredibly powerful, and what you believe, what you perceive to be true is true. Whether it's actually true or not is another thing. But your beliefs shape your reality. Your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about the world around you, about what you deserve, what you are worthy of. So it's time to give those beliefs a major upgrade. Major upgrade. Acknowledge that you've had plenty of time to reflect, to heal, to grow since the start of the pandemic. And think about it. A lot of people finally had some time for themselves when the pandemic started. It has been 4 years since then. So in the last 4 years, have you reflected enough? Have you healed enough? Have you grown enough? Do you feel like you're finally ready to fully step into and embody this healed version of yourself? And we have to actually give ourselves permission to be healed, to feel healed. Because so many people don't give themselves permission to feel healed and just to be healed. And it doesn't mean that the work is done and that you'll never have to, work on healing yourself ever again. No. But even just for right now, even just for the time being, can you allow yourself to be in a state of healed? I am healed. I am whole. I am complete as I am. I don't need to keep working on stuff right now. I don't need to keep focusing on, what I still need to heal. Because when I do that, all I'm doing is just reminding myself that I'm not healed. So give yourself permission to move forward in whatever version you are right now at this moment. This week, the energy is calling us out to get up and go. Stop licking old wounds and let them close fully. And an old wound cannot close if you keep looking back at it, if you keep reminding yourself that the wound is present, it cannot heal. So consider it healed and just let it go. The March 10 super new moon, the enhanced tide storm and the seismic potential that it brings will be felt within the window a few days before and a few days after. So from the 7th to the 13th, it will be felt. And it will have a very powerful effect within that window, within that time frame. All major planets are still moving forward. Nothing is in retrograde. That's going to continue until April the 2nd. So we're down now to basically the last month of this forward moving energy. And it's really nudging, this forward moving energy is really nudging all of us to move forward now, courageously and in faith. Choosing the higher side of this potent Pisces energy to free your imagination and intuition, to seed the new, and to collaborate with what will be is here for us now. So free yourself. There's a couple of things you can do here to really support this process. Number one is to free yourself from digital hijacking. Okay, so create periods of digital detox where you're not scrolling and you put the phone down, maybe set timers, do whatever you have to do, but really give yourself an opportunity for digital detoxing. Anything that is distracting, that is taking away from the time that you could be spending working on a creative project, time that you could be spending meditating or doing other wonderful things for yourself that uplift and support you, do those things instead of the scrolling. That's kind of one of the tips here that I want to offer for this week. Another one is to not be a consumer who never evolves into a creator. Don't be somebody who is always just consuming media, but never creates anything. What can you create? What is your soul longing to create? What has your soul been calling you to create? Start a project that requires both your imagination and your visualization. So what kind of project can you start on that has been, like I said, on the back burner, maybe in the back of your mind, maybe it's been stirring in there for a really, really long time, and you just never had the courage to take action on it? What is that thing? Take action on it. And also remind yourself that you need to be kind and sensitive to your evolving self and to the vulnerable and messier and chaotic parts of yourself. So engage in peaceful and restorative activities. Again, if you're feeling tired these days, especially we often find we feel kind of quite depleted and tired by the end of the winter season, which is usually a sign of low nutrients within our bodies and definitely low levels of vitamin D, at least in the northern hemisphere anyway. Here we definitely had way less sun in the winter season. And so we find ourselves quite depleted because we haven't had sun exposure in a really long time. For those of us that, maybe didn't travel over the winter, you definitely have not had any sun exposure. So that tiredness that you're feeling is normal in a way. I mean, it's not, but it is if you're living in the northern hemisphere. And so again, you have to remind yourself that there are certain things you're going to need to do now to bring yourself back up. Now, if you're someone on the other end of that spectrum where you're feeling super energized, you actually may be feeling on fire with this longing and bittersweet reflections. So you might be looking back at certain things and maybe past mistakes you've made, things that you haven't corrected, and it's good. It's good to reflect on those things. You actually might be feeling sort of almost more sucked into that kind of energy this week, where you're really, really feeling on fire with longing, like you just long to make something right, or you long to take some kind of action that you really feel for and have felt for a long time that you needed to take action on. You also may realize that you're tremendously energized by special occasions, extraordinary meetings, unexpected miracles, and even by tragedies. So this is a great week to just kind of pay attention to what moves you, what brings you energy, what takes energy from you. Really pay attention to that. You may also be craving sort of deeper levels of understandings. Focusing upon yourself, you may be looking at yourself on a much deeper level and understanding yourself on a much deeper level this week as well, which is really, really great. It will give you great insight. So it's a very good time to journal, to write whatever comes up for you when you have these deeper insights about yourself. Write those out. I find them profoundly helpful, especially when I go back later and I read them, maybe months later. I just realized like, wow, there was like so much stuff I moved through or so much that I healed through. So write those deeper realizations about yourself down in your journal. This week, you may also be feeling expectant and ready, waiting for something wild and unknown to break through. And you may actually be really heavily picking up on breakthrough energy this week. This huge, huge upgrading, if you will, right? And you may be feeling this at this time for yourself, like something big is about to change. So go with that. You may also feel charged with a life force that must be followed. So again, this intuitive nudge, but like this time it's more like a shove. It's not even nudging anymore. It's like shoving you forward and telling you like, do it and do it now. This is deep motivation and inspiration to act on something. So if you're feeling very deeply motivated or inspired to act on something, absolutely act on that, because that is the universe's way of saying to you that this is the right time. This is the moment. So do it without hesitation. And I find that people are always most afraid of the unknown, right? The what ifs. But the what ifs have to go out the window, because as soon as you start to go down the what if rabbit hole, that is the moment that you self-sabotage that motivation. You basically squash that motivation and that inspiration that the universe is gifting you and saying to you, move forward with this, right? So throw all the what ifs out the window, absolutely ignore them, and you must be willing to have blind faith. And it's really not blind faith if you think about it. It's actually faith in that intuition, in that motivation, in that inspiration that you're feeling. So trust it and move forward with it. There's this energy of a certain distinctive fate nudging you that at times disappears and feels gone, and at other times resurges with mighty power. So have you felt this? Have you experienced this, where you feel like something is fated, like it's just meant to be, it is supposed to happen? And then at times it kind of fades out, and maybe it even feels completely out of reach. And then at other times it just sort of comes back in, and it's like it's like new life has been breathed into it, and it comes back to life within you, and you just feel like this mighty power that compels you to believe in that fate again, that something is truly fated and meant for you. So be aware and present with that this week. There is going to be significant energy around that, kind of lighting it up. And, all of this truly just depends on your beliefs and the stories that you tell yourself. So remind yourself that when I feel something is fated for me and I have this absolute, don't even know where it comes from, but just gut feeling about it, believe it. Do not allow your negative beliefs to, again, squash that. Because this is how we can actually fuck up our own fate and our own destiny. And we can delay things from happening, or in some cases, even if something is fated, you actually are so powerful that you have the power to knock yourself off of that fated, destined path if you do not take action and if you do not follow through on that intuitive guidance that you are feeling, that your soul is guiding you towards. It will constantly change in unpredictable, exciting, disorienting ways until you settle into your unwavering faith about it and just let yourself feel worthy of having it. So when it comes to fate, it is something that you must not only believe in and trust in, but it is something that you must give yourself permission to experience and to have. Because like I said, we are so powerful that we can actually knock ourselves off of certain fated paths, good things that are meant for us. And if you allow your fear to get in the way, the fear of the unknown, then you can potentially mess things up for yourself. But it doesn't have to be that way. So just trust whatever your intuition is telling you to do, trust it and go with it. That is my message for this week's energy update. I know it packs a punch. Okay, it's definitely very strong, but this is the message that is coming through loud and clear for me, and it is something that I felt very compelled to share. So here I am delivering this message to you, and I really genuinely hope and sincerely wish for you to step onto this fated path for yourself. Because the universe wants nothing more than to deliver everything that you deserve. But you must feel worthy of it first. You must feel like you are good enough and that you have everything within you to have this, to deserve this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking the video. If you give it a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you for subscribing, for joining this channel, this high vibe tribe here on my channel. I'm so blessed to have each and every single one of you, to be sharing this journey with each and every single one of you, because it is a very powerful journey, isn't it? And we must be appreciative and feel blessed to be on this journey, because it truly leads us to where we are meant to be. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.